What's up, everyone? I'm CL Connolly, and since Mutiny of Disciples has been submitted off, I now have to purchase a new block of ISBNs. So when I initially bought my ISBN numbers back in 2012, I bought a block of 10. And that was because, it was the minimum and I wasn't going to spend, half price for one. I was going to spend the, just double it and get 10, right? So I thought that was the best way to do this. Well, here's the thing. So this time that I'm buying the block of ISBN numbers, I'm going to buy a block of 100. And that's because I have so many books that I'm getting ready to publish that I would have to buy 3 more blocks of 10 before I have all of the list of books that I have basically almost all plotted before I have them done. So I figured it'd be easier just to do a full block of 100 and cross my fingers that I can get 100 books published before I get hit by a bus. That's just how I'm going to say it. So that is my plan. My plan is to make sure that I have 100 books published on this new block of 100, because I do need one specifically for the last book in my cult series, which is Disbanding of Disciples. I do need one for that. I'm not going to buy a single one for that. I have this huge list of books that I have set to be published. Oh, that is the wrong thing that I pulled up. Oopsie. So anyway, I have this entire list of books that I have, and I only had 10 ISBN numbers. They're gone. So now I need a whole new list. And yeah, so according to what I have here, starting next year in 2025, I will start publishing 1 book a year until 2030. So I got 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029. That's 5 already, plus Disbanding of Disciples. So there's 6. That only gives me 4 more that I have for 2030, where I'm going to be publishing 1 book a year, or 1 book a month for the entire year. So there's another 12 that I would need after that, right? So, but I only have 4 to utilize. It's pointless to be able to do all that, right? So there's where I have the problem. And then on top of that, I also have a list of other books that I have ideas for, and some of them are plotted. Some of them are only partially plotted. And that's another 10 after that, up to 2040. And then I have a somewhat plotted series that I'm thinking about doing 10 books for, but I haven't decided on how that's going to go. But that would be published after 2040. If that says anything. But because of those 10 books, I also thought, well, maybe I could publish 2 a year after 2030. That would give me 5 more years, but that would still give me 10 books, right? You see my thing. So yes, I am getting a new block of ISBN numbers, which is going to be a block of 100. So I'm going to be getting 100 ISBNs. But for me, it seems like it would be just more cost effective to do it that way, because I have so many books in a line that I actually want to write, edit, and publish. The block of 100 just seems feasible, right? It just seems more cost effective rather than just buying another 10. You see what I mean? So in other words, all I'm saying is that, yes, I'm going to be buying a block of 100, but that doesn't mean that you have to do that just because you hope that you're going to have. So when I first started publishing, I knew someone who had started publishing, and not like personally. I didn't know this person personally. It was just a blog that I was constantly reading, because back in the early 2000s, that's just how it was. It was always the blogs. You got to read the blogs. And so I was reading this blog by this one specific writer, and she said that in order to get noticed, you have to have 10 published books. That was when you would actually start making some real money in publishing. So my thought process was, I'm not going to just buy one. I'm going to buy a block of 10, because in order for me to get noticed, I have to have 10 books. So after that, now my thought process is, okay, so now that I'm going to have 10 books out, I'm going to start getting noticed, and I need to make sure that I pump out books fast enough for my reader base. So that's where the 100 comes in, if that makes sense. In my mind, it works. Whether or not that's actually right, I have no idea. But that's just how I see it. I mean, it makes sense, right? If you have to have 10 books published by the time you get noticed, well, then you got to make sure you keep that loyal reader base pumping out those books, right? I mean, whether or not it's actually going to get me noticed. My cult series, let me put it this way. My cult series I'm so proud of because I literally started researching in 2016. I didn't write it until like 2021, if that says anything. So I did a lot of research for a reason. But my thing is, though, is that you also have all these authors and stuff like that that start getting noticed by the right people, and then they end up with TV shows or movies, like the book I recently started reading. I have the entire series because I absolutely love the TV show Dexter, and I was like, I need the books because I love the show. So I was like, you know what? I need the books. It has been a while since I have been able to find a traditionally published book that I have not been able to put down. Literally, I have read, in 2 days, I read just over half of that book. So, yeah. It's amazing and I love it, but that's because I'm also in love with Dexter. So, there you go. Not like Michael C. Hall, the guy who plays Dexter. No, I'm just Dexter. It's one of those things, you know, like the character, and it's like, yes, please. I mean, it sounds creepy, like, I don't know. It's a character thing. It's not that big a deal. But I love the show, so I had to read the books. So I'm excited about that. Of course, the books were out before the TV show. That means that the books were noticed by somebody, right? Of course, it's only an 8-book series. I don't know if that guy has any more books out, but I sure as hell am going to find them. Because let me tell you something. I want to know all of his books because he knows how to start a story. And if you saw my video last week, the week before, I think it was the week before last, I talked about the right way, in my opinion, to start a story. And let me tell you, Jeff Lindsay, the guy who wrote Dexter, he knows how to start a story. I'm just saying. Because he makes me care about these characters. He gives them life. I've had way too many books where they just started in the middle and I'm like, dude, I don't care about these characters and I don't want to finish it. So anyway, the whole point of this is I am buying new ISBN numbers. I'm getting new ISBN numbers because I have a list of books that are about to come out for the next, 10, 15 years? For the next 15 years, I have a bunch of books that are going to be coming out and I need all of these ISBN numbers. Crossing my fingers that it happens because, oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I have all these books and all these ideas and they just, yes, it just kind of comes out. So, and I have a lot going on in my head, which my husband has noticed because I was trying to talk it out and he's like, what are you doing over there? And I was like, I'm trying to figure out my publishing, right? And he says, okay. He goes, well, you want to talk it out loud? And I told him, I said, you'd be overwhelmed by everything that I'm about to say. And he says, no, do it. And I said, okay. I said, so here's the deal. So I've got Mutiny of Disciples just came out. So there's one ISBN, but it's the last ISBN I have. So then I've got Disbanding of Disciples that's about to come out, which means I need a new ISBN for that. And then all of these other books that are coming out. So I'm going to need some more ISBNs for that. So I'm going to need to get 100 ISBNs, but then I've got all these books. So if I know how to get all of these books this year, but do I want to do the last 10? Do I want to do 1 a year or 2 a year? Or how do I want to do that? Because if I do 1 a year, that's 10 years. But if I do 2 a year, that's only 5, which means I'm going to need more books. But then I have enough time to actually figure it out whether or not I'm going to have any more books by there. But then, you know, I've got all these ideas in my head anyway, just stuff comes out. And he goes, okay, you can stop. And I was like, and this is why sometimes the dishes don't get done because it runs in my head that way. Okay, so first I have to take the dishes out of the dishwasher and put those away. And then I've got to take these dishes, put them in the dishwasher. Then I got to start the dishwasher. But are all these dishes going to fit in the dishwasher? Or am I... That's how my brain works. And then eventually I'll end up talking myself out of doing the dishes. So, yeah, I don't know. My brain runs really fast and I talk really fast in my head, but that helps me work everything out. Now it's like the way that I'm organizing my office. I'm looking at, there's a black desk sitting here next to me, and on the other side of these boxes there is a cabinet and a little cubby thing. And if you've seen like the little videos that I've done of my like setup and stuff like that, I've thought about moving the desk and moving the cabinets and this and that, blah blah blah, and thought about moving that over here, and it's running all through my head just like that. So I do have a way that I actually brain dump so that it's not all stuck in my head like that. And it makes it a lot easier because I can sit here and get it and then see it in front of me. But ISBNs, I'm getting block of 100. Yay! I'm hoping I can have some more. So let's do, I'm thinking positive. 2024 is the year of positivity. So that's how that's going to work out for me. But that's all I got. I'm getting ready to get a block of 100 ISBNs and go from there. So anyway, okay, bye!